Welcome to Casual Crafting. Thank you for joining me as I continue building the Wing Gundam XXXG-01W. In the last video, I had finished up building the right foot of the Wing Gundam, ending with section 8-4 of the instructions. And we had spent some time doing panel lining of the foot, and you can see the black ink in the grooves of the foot, and that highlights the structures and the detail of the foot, right? So we got some aesthetic effects out of that. And now we will continue building out 8-5 and 8-6, which appear to put on the armor parts over the inner frame. And that should finish up the right leg. And let's look at what those parts are, right? We have the inner frame of the right leg and the foot, side by side. And we start off with B parts. There would be the white tray. And from the left side, we have B18. Well, actually there's quite a few B parts, but not so many parts here, so I think I will cut them all out at the same time, but build them separately. Alright, so we have B18. And where are you hiding here? 13? That's 18 right here. Yep, still have some sniffles, so apologize if you hear me sniffing my way through this video. So all the B parts are white parts. We have also 29, 32, okay, 29 and 32, 29 is here. Probably all this plastic dust will not be helping my nose either. Well, I could wear a mask, but that would make recording a lot more difficult. So we have 38 and 39. Yep. Maybe we are 38, 39. What do you look like? The right side, right here. Getting some lighting problems here. 38, right? I just want to make sure I get the right side. Well, kind of think that they're mirrored, but sometimes you just want to be sure in case they're not as mirrored as you thought. No, as one would have thought, right? 38 and 39. It's so fun looking at white on white. Doesn't do my eyes much good here. Okay, so I think I got all the B parts, and now I have the gray parts. Alright, yeah. Try not to get too confused here. What do I have here? E8 and 17. Oh, not much yet. Where are you? E number 8 is this part right here. I'll flip you around. A bit of plastic stuck on my things. I'll just cut this off. That should be 8. Yep. And what was it? 17, right? That should be an odd shaped thing right here. 17. Alright. And let's get on to the usual filing and stuff and trimming. Let's go. Do the E parts first, because the E parts apparently don't need much detail there. I'm just gonna snip off the end. Get the file out. File needs maintenance. I have not been a good boy there. So I try to brush off this thing. So there's lots of dust on the file. It also transfers onto the part. It's kind of not good, of course, right? I'm gonna keep the parts clean. Okay, so we get the file, get my handy dandy toothbrush, my little microfiber rag, and then brush off the plastic back into the water. Dry it out a bit. Okay. Alright, let's get out of the way. Off you go. Brush your teeth, brush your file. Here we go. Okay, so we got that off. Get back my little waste bin. It's not little, actually, it's a pretty big waste bin, but here. Carefully cut off this piece here, and then get out the more precise nipper. Okay, let's see what we can do here. You can see some excess plastic on the edges. Use the knife to it. Where does this go actually? Actually, this appears to be facing into the lake, so again, I say hidden part, right? Hidden part, not so visible, so defects not so obvious there. Now that's it. Still try to make it as nice as possible. I would like to invite you to support my channel by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. There appears actually to be a faint stress mark here. Stress mark could be accidentally pressed down with the cutter on that section, but anyway, I think not visible, so should not be a problem. Okay, let's continue this. This white part has some lines. We'll probably panel line that later. I'm cutting this in steps. trying to find a way to cut this as closely, because it's kind of a curve there, right? The knife doesn't really follow the curve. So probably will have to definitely follow up with the hobby knife later. So hobby knife, run it along the edge. Still to access here. It's going to be a bit annoying to get that off. Yeah, there's a very visible. See, if your fingernail can feel it, yeah, probably worth trying to remove that. A bit more maybe. I don't need that much pressure on the file. I believe this plastic is not that rigorous. But in doing so, I seem to have scratched up the side of this plastic part too. Very annoying. That's why sometimes one has to figure out whether is it worth the risk of trying to get rid of these excess plastic things. By the whole scheme of things, not so visible. Nope. You don't look at these things under a microscope at the end of the day. A bit of plastic there when I use the nipper. Possibly can, but in this case, probably easiest to pick up a knife. Some brush off. Yeah. Light sanding. Yeah, when the surface is curved, right, the sanding is a lot more difficult because you just simply don't have a straight surface to file away, right? So the edge of your file easily you can scratch out other parts too, cause other problems. Yeah, these parts have a bit of curvature on the side. Makes it so annoying. You can see a pretty obvious extrusion there. Some knife action. Get rid of that. Same as the other side. Go, wash it off. this down. Let's get on these parts. Okay, let's check out what's there to clean up here. Yeah, there's a spot right there. And here. There we go, there we go. I think we're gonna brush off the knife, brush off the part, eyeball it a bit more. This one I might file along the edge a bit. Yep, I think we got all the parts there. Okay, so let's get out the bin out of the way and let's put some of the parts into view. Okay, we have these plastic parts here, and it's too good together. The grey parts are here, right? Now, as I said before, I have just a personal preference. I panel line white parts with grey because I just don't like things to be too contrasty. And I'm going to look around this thing and you see the line here, so I'm just going to run this over the line. Oh, I'm doing such a bad job on this one. There's also a line here. I'm applying the pen. I'm also letting the ink dry a bit on the previous parts before I come back to do a cleanup. Okay, and this guy has nothing. Alright, it's fine. Okay, so we started with this guy, and this guy, well, the ink is made so that you can just rub it off with your finger. And some eraser action. So the eraser is too vigorous. It actually rubbed up the line. Anyway, let me get my bin back in the corner just to brush out the dust, right? So over rubbed the this white piece. Let's put the line back here. Okay, we'll come back and rub the out. Okay, let's continue rubbing out. So this guy needs good rub too. This guy too. And this piece. I have just oily hands, eh? But That's what it's supposed to be. Just use your finger and rub off the ink. Rub off the excess ink. And for the one that's a bit more persistent, so I think this one is a bit too thick here. I'm just going to take this kind of plastic eraser because it's a very pointy edge. And I'm going to just slightly run over it to thin out the coloring. So I'm brushing off screen, but I'm just brushing over the bin. Okay, let's put this back. I had to rescue the manual for a moment. And let's see what we have here. Okay, this. Going back to this piece again. Rubbing off the ink again. My tongue. This one's more even. It looks more even now. I have some stain on the edge here, so I'm just going to take the eraser and carefully rub out at that spot without touching the rest of the ink. Alright, there we go. 1, 2. And there we go, we have all the parts for 8-5 now. Tossing the erasers back into my basket. And I guess we can now attach them as shown in the diagram. So we have finished prepping the armor parts for the leg, and this is a good time to pause for now. We will continue the leg assembly in the next video, and I hope you'll all join me then.